Hello, and welcome back to City Skylines. We are in a brand new city to build this up on YouTube here on camera. This is very exciting. Now, it has been a little while since I was last here playing City Skylines here on YouTube, but we are back into things and we are kicking off this series taking a look at this brand new city which has only really just been started. Now, this city is going to have so much being done to it. We've got so many exciting things, so many different projects, all kinds of different bits and pieces we want to be doing in this city. Now, as you'll see, I'm doing a little fly around. Now, my plan for today's episode is we're going to go over what we're going to be doing in the city, the rough plans we've got, all of those kind of bits and pieces, and then maybe take a look at public transport or something along those lines. That's what I reckon anyways. So this is the city of Los Palma, and well, I think that's how you say it anyway. I hope I'm getting that right. Now, if we take a look, you'll see we are on a nice coastal area. Well, I say nice as we go past the lovely area of sewage. Sorry, shipwreck, I seem to be drowning you in sewage. So this is the city of Los Palma, and this is where we are going to be building up our brand new city. Now, this is a rough overview of what we've got going on now. Okay, so I'm just going to exit that view just there, and let me just give you a rough overview of what is going on here in the city. So you can probably guess and take a look at this area here. This is our industrial area. Now, one of the first things I decided to do was what we've done is we've really focused in on making use of our natural resources and having specialized areas for our industries. So currently we've got a tiny wood area industry over there. We need to expand our industries later in today's episode. We've got this big ore industry just down here. This is all the blue area down here, and that's the only area we've expanded into at the moment. But as you'll see over here, we have different accesses to different natural resources. We have a large forestry area down here, and we also have some pockets of farming land all around here, which is very, very exciting and nice. Now, we've also got off in the distance over there, we can just see we've got some ore industries, so that is somewhere we definitely want to be expanding to. Yeah, so we've got a pretty cool city. We've got some mountainous regions just over there, so there's a lot we can expand out to, and we also have the ocean off in that direction, and there's a ship off in the distance, a cruise ship. Very nice. So what I want to do first is I just want to give you a rough overview of the different areas we've got and what is being based in each area, and the different ideas we've got to focus on traffic to make sure everything is running really, really smooth. So firstly, my first idea, and something we are going to continue throughout the entire city, is having this motorway and this bypass going the entire way through the city. Now, as you'll see, what I've done is I'm extending this out, and what we are going to have is we're going to have roughly something like these junctions here. So we have our highway coming over the top and continuing on, and underneath we have this oval roundabout. Now, this oval roundabout will allow us to connect into different areas of the city. Now, these are being hand-built, so they are all a little bit different from one another, but that's what I quite like. I think if everything is the same, well, it doesn't feel as realistic, but as you'll see, we've got all of that kind of thing going on just down there. Now, we've got a secondary one over here, and you'll see the motorway just ends over there. That is where I stopped building it, because I actually ran out of money, but currently we're getting some money in, which is very, very good. So, as I already said, we have our industrial area over here. I think there's a tiny bit of housing down here, but that will be moved alongside this area here. Now, this area here, this is just one big residential area. Now, I want to get rid of this residential area. I don't like all the streets. They're all very linear, they're all very straight lined, and actually it's not very good for the traffic whatsoever. It really slows down the traffic. I've had to do already quite a bit with Traffic Manager. This is one of the mods I'm using. This is this one down here, using Traffic Manager just to try and get that road flowing. So I think that is a warning sign already. This is not the kind of road layout we want to be going for. However, down here, I want to be trying out all kinds of different new styles, new areas. So what we've got is we've got a nice suburban area down here, and I believe down here we've got some parks, we've got some plazas, we've got some shops, all kinds of bits and pieces going on down here. So this is what I want to be going for more. What we've also got is we've got some little suburb streets coming down these roads here. Following down this main road, we've got some other outer suburbs, and then a high density area down here. So that is the rough overview of the city, and as you'll see, it's a very small city. It's only really just begun with 13,000 people. So it's, as we said, very, very small. And thank you for these pop-ups. I want them to go away. Now, what you'll see is before the episode started, I have just begun to add in a little bit of metro just to allow people to move around nice and easily. So that's something we are going to do now. We are just going to finish up this metro area over here. So we're going to grab our metro station, and what I'd like to do is place this metro station quite close by to this one down here. So I think if we place this maybe, let's say just down here, just on the highway down here, close to the roundabout access, nice and easily. Now the idea for this one is we're going to have easy access, people just jump between the different lines. Now all this flashing up is quite annoying. Okay, so what I've done is I've added our metro station just down here, and I've also added this line linking up to the industrial area. So this line here is going to allow our people to travel to work, which is the fairly simple thing to do. So what we're going to do is we are just going to make this backwards and forwards loop just like that. There we go, that's going up and downwards, and that is going to allow people to come from this station here over to this station here. Now, to allow them to do that nice and easily, I reckon we need some footpaths. So if we head into this tab just down here, we've got some footpaths just down here. Now, which one do I want to use? I think I'd like to use a gravel path. So down here, this is where we have our little station down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our path. That is going to come off in this direction here. I'm going to grab our curved road tool. So I'm grabbing our curved road tool just like this and bringing a path round to the side there. So this is going to allow people to walk from this station here over to this station here nice and easily. They've got different options, which is obviously all we want to do. Okay, so what I'm thinking about doing next is expanding our residential areas. Now, as we'll see, we've got these roundabouts coming down here. Now, roundabouts are the saviours. I've accidentally paused the game. Let's just unpause that just there. Roundabouts are the saviours. They make this game run properly as long as you have them set up right, which we are going to obviously make sure we do. So what I'm thinking is we need to be able to make new homes, and I want to keep the population just above 10,000 for the time being, because obviously we want to wipe out this area down here. This will become a brand new residential area down there, but currently we don't have the money to wipe that out, or the places to keep the population at a constant level, which is obviously what we want to do. So what I'm thinking first is we are going to make a new residential area in this area down here. We're really going to expand right down to the coastal front, right up to these borders, with the highway coming straight through the middle. So as the highway is going to be right in the middle of this, let's make sure to bring this down. Now, I believe I have the parallel road tool enabled. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to continue these bridges, these highways, and we're going to continue these downwards. Obviously, these are going to be right in the way, but we're going to work around them, and that's what I'm going to hope to plan and try and do throughout this city. We're going to make this actually work as a city should do. There we go, so I've just continued our motorway downwards, and what I'm doing is I'm making use of the Move It mods right here, and we are just going to get these motorway just in place, just a little, curve that round and make it feel a little bit more natural. Let's bring that round in, so it's a bit of a smoother curve. So as I have just said, I do have a few mods here while playing City Skylines. If you're interested in seeing what mods I have enabled, there is a link down below to a paste bin document, which has a list of every single mod and asset I am using, and I will update that over time. These mods are primarily traffic mods. We have a lot of, we have the network extension mods, which gives us a load of new roads. As you can see down there, we've got a load of new roads, which is really useful just to be able to customize your city that little bit more. So what I think I'm going to do next is I am going to add another one of these intersections. These are going to be a core part of the city. We want to allow people to move around the city really fast and allow easy access to different areas. So what I was thinking is we could bring another road off of this junction down here, but we do have a lot of industry traffic coming through this highway junction just here. As you'll see, things are already beginning to back up, which isn't exactly what we want. So I've done a little bit of traffic manager work just to do a little unblocking of this junction. Things were getting a little bit tight and packed up, but I think we have managed to get that all sorted. Now, there is a little bit of herky-jerky lane jumping, as you'll see. They're doing a little bit of lane jumping just down there, but for the moment, we're just going to leave that to run. That is managing okay, but now what we want to do is we want to come down here for our new residential area, which is really going to fill up this area, really going to expand the city. So down here, what we're going to do is we're going to make another one of these junctions. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to whack out some of the motorway just like that, just to give us a little bit of space to play with. Firstly, we're going to come roughly in the middle just there. Now I'm going to bring this out by 2, just like that. This is just a regular road. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to turn off prop anarchy, just like that. We are then going to come out by, I believe, half a square, just like that. And then half a set, just like that. Then coming down to use the highway tool, we're going to grab the 3-line highway, just like that. We're going to grab our curved road, and we are literally just going to make a little curved oval roundabout, just like this. Now, I'm not using the roundabout mod for this, which I do have installed, just because this makes it just a little bit easier, and we can just brace it just like that. So to brace the roundabout, we are going to grab and go from node to node, just like this. We're going to come from node to node, just like this, and this will stop the lanes bending or anything like that when we start messing around with it. So there we go. Now I've reconnected our motorway over the top of this. So as you'll see, we've got the oval roundabout just underneath and the motorway running along the top. And then we are going to grab our highway ramp just like this, and these are going to be our connections down onto the main road, onto the roundabout down below. And for this one here, what I've decided to do is I've gone quite far out, but this is okay. We can bring things out. We can use the space we've got. We don't have to cluster and cramp everything in. We've got to make sure we let the traffic flow. Now that seems like a very, very steep highway ramp there, so I think we'll do a little bit of tweaking with that with the Move It mod. I've just used the Move It mod to try and tweak it around a bit. I mean, the road seems even worse now. I would not like to drive down that myself, but it doesn't matter. It's an AI game, so that's fine. So there we go, I've linked up our highway ramps. We have one coming on and one going off for each highway ramp. That just allows everyone to be connected with one another. So once we've got that, we're going to get our priority signs, which are that one there. We're going to come down to this junction down here, and we're just going to give priority to everyone on the roundabout. Just like this, we can just make sure everyone on the roundabout is getting priority to move on, and anyone coming onto the roundabout has to give way and let people on first. So that's nice and quickly done, just like that. So my plan for this roundabout is what we're going to do is we're going to have our main road coming off just like this, and we're going to come out just like that, and at that point there we are going to have a roundabout. So this roundabout will allow you to go over to this area over here. It will allow you to come down here and straight onwards. Again, we're using this principle that roundabouts work. They make the game run really, really well. And it seems my rubbish dumps are filling up. So what we're going to come around and do is we are just going to start emptying them while we're at it. Actually, yeah, there seems to be a couple of issues. Yeah, they need a bit of rubbish waste disposal. So hopefully these will begin to empty, and we'll get them done soon. So there we go. I've just made our crossroads just like that, and we're going to grab our Roundabout Builder mod up like that, and we are going to come down and select 3-lane highway. Now, set up TMP, that is what we want. We're going to select all of them to be on. We're going to go to back, and then we should just be able to go to here. We're going to choose our size, which I believe we can do, yep, just like that. Now, I want a fairly largest roundabout. There's going to be a fairly big amount of traffic on this roundabout, so I reckon around that size just there. Yes, that looks good. I reckon that's a good enough size. Now, let's double check TMPE has actually been set up. TMPE is Traffic Manager President's Edition. That is just what it's called. As you'll see, all the junction restrictions have been set up just like that. And down here, there's still a couple of issues with them actually not setting these up correctly. We just want to turn those ones coming onto the roundabout just to be off. Now there seems to be a couple of dodgy roads, so what I'm going to come along and do is I'm just going to drag these backwards. Let's make that look a little bit better. There we go. That's looking a little bit more normal. So with that now done, we can now extend out and make these new residential areas. So what I'm thinking for this coastal area down here, and there seems to be some electricity issues. Okay, so they're not actually linking up correctly. So we'll deal with that in a minute. They seem to be coping fine. All the water input, that is all doing great. Anyways, so what we're going to do is we are going to come down here. We're going to grab our 6-lane highway, and we're going to bring this, I think, right down to the shorefront. So this is the first mini district I have set up. So down the main road, I'm thinking we get these commercial buildings, and that will allow people to go to the shops, that kind of bits and pieces. And then on these smaller outer roads, we are going to be putting in all of the residential areas just like this. So these will allow all the people to start moving in. Now we better check there is actually a water supply over here. I haven't actually checked all the water pipes or anything like that just at the moment, but you'll see a commercial building is already being set up. That will bring in money for the city, that will bring in more jobs and require more industry to start being used in the city, which, as you'll see, there is something you can see our meters down below, just down here, that is telling us we need to start making more industries and residential areas, which we are starting to do now. Okay, so as you'll see, the water pipes haven't yet been set up. What we're going to do is we are just going to keep them coming across, just like that. Make sure every little area is covered. And you'll see the first shop has moved in. What shop are you? This is a drugstore. That is very nice. And there are some tables and chairs out the back. Very, very good. And the first residential building is coming in. And what we will eventually see is traffic is actually going to start coming in from out of the city into this area. And we'll actually see, for the first time, this roundabout and this new junction in use. And I'm just going to set up our game onto max speed. As you'll see, we're on to 3 times speed. And now let's start seeing this little area popping up with houses. Aha! Something I've noticed while we are gumming along here, there are traffic lights. We don't want traffic lights. They only seem to cause issues. We're going to take all of those traffic lights off just like that. That makes life a little bit easier. Now there seems to be some serious rubbish issues in the city. So I think what we need to do is we need to get some more rubbish dumps out there. For the time being, I'm going to put them over in this industrial area down here. I'm sorry, residential people. I know things aren't great for you, but you are living in the wrong place, to be honest. So what I've decided to do is I'm just going to create this area down here and make this non-residential anymore, because obviously you're not really going to want to be living in this area with all these industrial buildings going on. We are going to make this fully industrial, and this is not going to be a zoned industrial area. This is just going to be somewhere that we can get those factories popping up to make the city work and run as it needs to be. It is time. We need to put in our first city prison. Yes, people have been bad, which I think is absolutely disgraceful, but because of that, we need to obviously cater for them and somewhere to put them in prison. Now, I don't want to put them in the industrial area. I think that's the wrong place to put them. But you know what? I think maybe on one of these main roads down here, I think that would be quite a good place. So there we go, the prison is in. Now people aren't too happy about it, but in general I think yeah, there we go, people are actually alright with that. Now there is a water issue just there, so what we're going to do is we are going to grab our pipe. We're going to go a bit messy with the pipes, but let's be honest, no one sees them, that's not too much of a worry. So heading back over to this area, this has grown up nice and quickly. We'll see some buildings are popping up just like that. Very, very good. Now, to cater for them, we are going to need some medical attention down here. Obviously, there isn't too much going on in this area. So I think what we'll do is we'll have a little medical centre just coming on down there. We are going to have our new crematorium, which is going to come on the main road just off here. And alongside this, we do need to cater for the fire service and the police service. So we're hoping this is going to cover just this small area. The fire hazard is very low. As you'll see, that is actually decreasing at the moment. That was at 35%. That's now 32%. And alongside that, we are also, of course, going to need a police station. So there we go. That should keep this area nice and covered as we expand outwards. Oh, we seem to have an issue. Our citizens are very sick. Their drinking water's dirty. Oh no, that's a crisis. The moment the drinking water gets dirty, that means the city just goes into absolute meltdown. I was wondering why these numbers were getting lower and lower and more people leaving the city and the population decreasing. It's because something's wrong with the water. Average drinking water pollution 4%. Now, why would that be? It is this. It must be this singular water tower. Now, this water tower must be causing all of the issues. So what we want to do is just get it far away from anything as possible. Now what I'll do, just because it seems to be a little lowered in the ground, yeah, let's just bring that up to normal height. Just there we go. And yeah, wow, that was I'm so glad I noticed that. I'm going to get rid of these electricity pylons and I'm just going to link that up just like that. Now hopefully that monitor, as we'll see, hopefully that comes, yeah, there we go, that comes back online. Average drinking water, 0%. And what we'll see is the health goes right back up. Because I was thinking, how can pollution get up there? Look, it's all the way down there. But that will also affect it. So we have to be very careful on that front. But hopefully what we'll see is the health of the city. Yes, it is being restored bit by bit. That is going to get better. But to help that along, there doesn't seem to actually be a healthcare facility in this area. We're going to place one down in there. That'll send out a few more ambulances. That's going to make people that little bit better. And yeah. Things should become better now in the city, but what I'm aiming for now is let's try and break the 15,000 people, because once we've broken that, we will also, that's the wrong button there, we will have access to the water treatment plant and the crematorium. Now the water treatment plant is going to be great because it means we won't have as much sewage being pumped out into the ocean because it's pretty ugly. So to reach that goal, all I'm doing is I'm just doing this little expansion out round the back. As I pointed out a little bit earlier, we are trying to really fill the space. Let's make it a really dense city. That's what I want it to look, especially in this northern side of the city. And as you'll see, things are beginning to fill up. I still think we should expand down into this area here. We can bring this down here. So yeah, there's definitely some stuff we can do here. In a population of about 13,500 people, I have to say, only 71 or 70 prisoners. That's not too bad. Let's see who they are. Resides at Ready to Wear. He's a manager. He is visiting the prison, so he's not an inmate, so that's good. He's also visiting the prison. I don't think they're visitors. I think they might be lying. I think they're inmates. They are definitely wearing some orange gear down there. Yeah, they are definitely inmates. He's an agent. How can you be an agent of a prison, I have to say. That is a bit confusing, but we'll go with it. He's doing some interesting things. Is that a dog? There's a dog in the prison. I'm not going to ask anymore. I'm just gonna move away from the prison. Let's move away. We're almost about to break 14,000. Come on. There we go. No? Yes, there we go. We have surpassed 14,000 people in the city. Now, I think we're not going to make it to 15,000 just yet. I think what we do need to do is let's extend out, just really fill up the rest of this space down here. So I'm going to bring this road out just as a main road, just like that. And I seem to have chosen the wrong type. So let's go upgrade that to the same type. So we use the upgrade tool just like that. There we go. Much better. And the path we put in at the very beginning of the episode, people are actually using this. Thank you, people. You're unemployed and you're going home. Very good. Well, not good. I obviously want you to have a job, but not like that. Anyway, I'll just be quiet now. Okay, I think that's much better. Now, if you are noticing during the video, there have been these little dings, and you're a bit confused what they are. Now, they are buildings upgrading. That is the noise we want to hear. It's a happy little noise. And wow, yes, that's quite a lot of people using that pathway. What I've done is I actually just shifted it down a bit just to make more room for roads. As I said before, we're really cramming the roads in. Really cramming them in. Okay, so there does seem to be still some traffic issues here in the city. Now, I want to fix that up as soon as possible. Now, I think it is industrial traffic which is just clogging up this motorway. So what I reckon we bring a secondary highway ramp down. So what we're going to come in here, we're going to grab this highway ramp just down here, and we are going to bring this out probably all the way around down there. So this is going to act as a bit of a shortcut for people, so they can come off the motorway at a very odd angle. So we'll fix that up. This is why mods are actually quite useful in the game. We are able just to do a little bit of shifting around just like this, just to make roads work. And these kind of things work. So that is, that was a bit odd. So what we'll do is let's just bring this down. There we go. And so this is going to allow people to get into the city just like that. What we also want to do is we're going to grab the traffic manager mod down here. We're going to come to the end of that road, and we're not going to let people turn that way. They can either go, actually, I want them only to go straight on. So that's what we're going to do. And hopefully what we shall see is if we come over here and we're going to grab our lane manager tool. We're going to grab our lane manager tool here. We're going to only let this lane here for people to turn off. So this is only going to let people turn off in that direction. Now, there should be enough room for them. They can switch into that lane if they want to. They can do all the lane switching. As you'll see, there are some vans diving out there. There are some lorries diving in. And yes, there we go. That is hopefully just going to help relieve a little bit of the strain on this motorway down here. And for the people that want to go straight on, they can obviously use this junction down here. And as we can see, the heavy traffic are actually beginning to use this junction. Yes, there we go. That is actually unblocking that junction. Brilliant. Okay, now what I want to do is while we watch these areas which I've just expanded into grow with people, and we are actually about to hit 15,000 people right now, I want to make a university. Now, we've got to make this in a logical place. Now, I think actually down towards this main road is going to be a fairly clever place to put this. Or we could put it over on one of these side roads. So a university is going to allow our citizens to become more educated. They'll be able to get better jobs, make more money, which is primarily what we want. Now, I think in that house just there, that's going to make a big difference to the whole city. Now, what we'll see is the university availability has jumped right up. We have the capacity for 4,500 people, and we have about 5,000 people eligible. So I'm not going to make another one. One, because I can't afford it, and two, because I don't think it is yet needed. But as you'll see, all those green arrows means there is a lot of upgrading going on. Now, as we've been expanding our city, the more people have been joining, and there we go. Yes, we have got it. Big City has actually been come in. Brilliant. So the one thing I want to do for the end of today's episode is sort out the water treatment plant, and let's put those in. We're going to replace our sewage stations. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So we're going to be heading down in this area here. We're going to pause the game just for the time being. We are going to be destroying every single one of these just here because we don't want them. They're in the way. Now, we're going to place that probably just in there. Now, I've got a bit of an issue that we don't actually have the room for this. So I am tempted. I'm quite tempted, I have to say, let's put them on the complete other side of the ocean. I want to make this area look a bit nicer where people are actually going to be living, because eventually I reckon this area here is going to become our industrial area. That lighter place there, that is actually an oil reserve, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, hopefully, yeah, let's place those in just, oh, we don't, yeah, whoops. I think I've removed all your sewage access, but if we pause the game, all is well. Now what we do is we're going to have to make a long list of water, a long line of water pipes, just like this. And then we're going to have to link these up with the grid, which we can do just like that. Then we have to provide electricity for these. Now, instead of running a massive line of pylons across this, what pretty much is a lake, I think we should just put maybe one of these in, and let's let the game run. Let's let these update, and maybe let's put two in, and just hopefully that'll keep those ticked over. So what we should see if we switch over there, yes, sewage treatment, yes, that is keeping everything covered. And eventually what we will see is if we switch to the pollution menu, this is actually going to eventually get pushed away by these very faint currents, but eventually all of this will go, and pollution will still be emitted, but it won't stay around. So hopefully it's not as you can see, it's not as strong, but yeah, that should make things a lot better. And as you'll see with that, we actually unlocked another expansion, and I believe I want to unlock this one here because of the oil reserves which are underneath. We're going to buy that, and that is hopefully what we're going to work on in the next episode, a big industrial boom for our city. We are going to get some farming areas, we're going to get a large forestry farming, and a big oil reserve, which is going to be absolutely awesome. But unfortunately, that is all the time I have for today's video. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, because Los Palma is going to be heading to your screens pretty soon. There is a lot coming. We've got a lot of videos on their way. This series is really going to be kicking off this year. So thank you for watching today's video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, as it really does help out the channel a lot. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.